Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a topic that's absolutely critical in pretty much any industrial workplace, but honestly, it's often misunderstood. We're going to explore the massive difference between being safe from everyday accidents and being safe from a complete and utter catastrophe. And it really all starts with one question. So really think about that for a second. Is it just about size, a small problem versus a really big one? Or is there something deeper going on? Well, the answer is all about understanding two very different but totally connected kinds of safety. All right, so first up, let's talk about the kind of safety we're all familiar with. This is the stuff that's right there in front of us, the risks we can literally see and point to in our daily lives at work. And that is personal safety. Its whole job, its entire reason for being, is to protect individual people from the common everyday hazards of their job. It's like a personal shield for each worker against their immediate surroundings. So what are we talking about here? Well, it's exactly the stuff you'd imagine. Someone slips on a wet floor, gets a cut from a sharp edge, or maybe forgets to wear their PPE, their personal protective equipment, like a hard hat or safety glasses. These things happen pretty often, right? They're high frequency. But the consequences, while they can be really serious for that one person, are usually contained to just them. Okay, but here's the twist. What if the biggest, most terrifying threats are the ones you can't see at all? Let's flip the coin and talk about the other side of this. It's time to go looking for those invisible dangers. And this is where process safety comes in. See, this has nothing to do with one person's slip-up in the moment. This is about the health of the entire system, the integrity of the pipes, the reliability of the software, the design of the chemical process. Its job is to prevent those massive catastrophic failures. Now this right here, this is probably the most important slide. It shows the fundamental trade-off. Personal safety incidents, they happen all the time. But the fallout is usually, thankfully, pretty small. Process safety incidents, they're incredibly rare. They might only happen once in a decade, but when they do, the consequences are astronomical. I mean, this quote from some safety researchers just hits the nail on the head. A personal safety issue might injure one person. A process safety failure can literally wipe a company off the map and devastate an entire community for generations. The stakes are just on a completely different level. History is sadly littered with the wreckage of what happens when these invisible, system-wide dangers get ignored. I mean, you just have to look at events like the Bhopal gas tragedy in India or the Texas City refinery explosion. These weren't caused by someone tripping over a cable. No way. These were massive, systemic breakdowns of process safety that led to an unthinkable loss of life. Now let's zoom in on that Texas City disaster for a second, because it's a perfect, tragic example. Look at this number, 0.18. That was their lost time injury rate. It's like a report card for personal safety. And by any industry standard, that was an A+. They looked at this number and believed they were running one of the safest plants in the world. And yet, this happened. 15 workers were killed. Another 180 were injured. That excellent personal safety record meant absolutely nothing when the process itself was fundamentally broken. And here's the big takeaway from that story. By focusing only on the visible, everyday incidents, they created a massive blind spot. They were measuring the wrong thing, celebrating a great score, while a disaster was silently brewing just beneath the surface. So you might be thinking these are two totally separate worlds, right? You've got personal safety over here and process safety over there. But that's not how it works. At all. In fact, they are deeply, deeply connected. This domino effect is a perfect way to picture it. So often, a huge disaster starts with a small individual choice, a little personal safety shortcut. Maybe an operator bypasses an alarm because it's annoying. That one action, that single push, can remove the last line of defense, letting a hidden process flaw, like a corroded pipe or a stuck valve, run wild. One small domino knocks over a much, much bigger one. So, how do we stop this from happening? How do we protect against both the slip on the floor and the plant-wide explosion? Well, it's all about integrating these two ways of thinking into one really strong safety culture. This table really breaks it all down. Personal safety is about individuals and visible hazards, like a wet floor. We prevent it with training and PPE, and we measure it with what are called lagging indicators, like injury rates, things that have already happened. Process safety is about the whole system and invisible hazards, like corrosion inside a pipe. We prevent it with great engineering and maintenance, and we measure it with leading indicators, clues like audit findings that warn us a problem might be coming. When you boil it all down, it comes to this simple, powerful idea. You can't have one without the other. True safety means you're obsessed with preventing the slips and falls, and you're obsessed with the health of your entire system. You protect every single domino, and you make sure the whole structure is rock solid. So I want to leave you with this question. In your own workplace, in your own life, what are you looking for? Are you only spotting the obvious dangers, the wet floors and the missing hard hats? Or are you also asking the tougher questions about the invisible risks hiding in the system? Because shining a light on those hidden dangers, that's the only way we can prevent the next catastrophe.